Hi everybody, welcome to Love Techie, and if you are watching this video without subscribing to this channel, definitely consider subscribing. So in the phase of starting a startup, validating your idea, finding people as a freelancers, we are ready to take the product to the market, also known as GTM. And how do we bring in a lot of traction? I think a lot of people also commented about this and asked me on LinkedIn on how we can bring in traction spending very less money. I understand you are doing this as a side project when you are working in a place, or probably you're just starting up and then not having that luxury of lots and lots of money. So now I'm going to talk about the traction channels where you don't have to spend too much money. But of course, it doesn't come free. There's nothing called free lunch, and you might have to spend a little money. But how can you bring in lots and lots of value in the money you spend is what I'm going to talk about. For which I'm going to talk about one book which is called Traction, which itself has everything that we need to know about GTM and traction. So let's get into the video. First of all, this book is written by Gabriel Weinberg. He is the CEO of DuckDuckGo, and he had also written other books. He's also an author of another book called Super Thinking. Okay, let's get into the book. Like, this book has around 22 different chapters, and I'm going to give you a brief about each and every chapter so I don't really miss any element that would suit your startup. I don't want to be presuming that probably this chapter is not suitable to the audience that I'm talking about. So I'm going to talk about everything in this book, all as brief. And of course, I suggest you to go read this book if you are interested in one particular topic, and the link is in the description box. Let's get into the chapters. Number 1, he is talking about the traction channels. When it is a startup or when it is a small business, there are quite a lot of traction channels. It could be the founder speaking in public speaking events, or it could be webinars, it could be AdWords, it could be anything related to bringing some customers or some brand awareness towards the product. But the author says there are around 19 traction channels, and mostly people pick the easiest ones, like AdWords, or giving samples, or giving free trial period, which is usually the usual traction channels. But people don't pick which are little niche and which doesn't come to me. Let's say I'm the founder and public speaking is not something that comes to me naturally. Then I leave out the traction. The author says that you are leaving out a huge opportunity there. As a startup, you do not know which one works for your company or your product, which means that you have to try out all the traction channels and figure out what works for that, and as a founder you have to be prepared for that. Chapter number 2, he is talking about traction thinking. When you start up, you have to think your product as a leaking bucket, and you have to understand that initially you will put all your effort in plugging that broken bucket, which means that you have to put that effort of building the product and also invest the same amount of effort in bringing traction, because end of the day, if there are no takers, then there is no point in actually building a product. So he's telling that 50% of effort needs to be done both on the product and also on the traction thinking. Every time you think about the traction, every time you think about the growth of this product, or starting from that 0 to 1, we need to think about which number will be respected by the investor. Let's say I am building a product and it brings in some 400k every month. Will that be respected by the kind of investor that I'm looking for? It could be Y Combinator, it could be a local angel investor, but will this number be respected by them? Should be the kind of thinking that you should have, and the numbers needs to be little hard as well. You cannot keep a goal of probably 10 lakhs and 15 lakhs and then achieve it easier and then go. In that case, you will not grow very faster. Of course, it will be organic slow faced and the company is also growing like a very traditional business, but it might not work out in a world where the investors are investing money and then waiting for the breakdown or waiting for the traction to happen right immediately. Number 3 is finding your bull's eye. So when I say bull's eye, your product will have one niche thing or one micro niche thing which is like loved by the customer. Now you have to figure out what it is. In that case, you have to talk to a lot of founders who are probably not like 10x bigger than you, probably 1x bigger than you, who started 2 years before you did, and who is probably in the right trajectory to understand what is good and what is bad in your product, or what is working or what is not working in your product. You can also reach out to the customer directly for whom your product is absolutely working. Let's say 70% of the customers are complaining your product and 30% are really loving it. Then you have to talk to this 30% and figure out what is working for them. And if your product is not working for any of them, like around 95% of them are complaining, I think it's a time to pivot and figure out what works for you and what works for the product that you're building. Next is traction testing. So when you are trying a traction, obviously you have to test. So should I spend a lot of money on AdWords and other stuff and then figure out is this working for me or not? Maybe not. Where the author is asking us to run a lot of cheap tests, where trying to figure this out in smaller blog posts or smaller YouTube channels where you have at least 2,000 followers, still very loyal, where you can go check their sort of traction, likes, where you can figure out if it was genuine, if it is really people who are trying to engage. Because sometimes people with 200 followers have an engagement of 100, 150 plus people, which means that it's really good where their traction channels are good. You have to figure out people like that and trust your traction with those people, which becomes very cheap for you, and also your results comes through in a much faster phase. And also run tests like A/B testing, giving different type of designs, giving different types of products, and then testing between the people and optimize it accordingly. Chapter 5, critical thinking, critical path, finding your critical path. It's like finding something that's very important to you and then keeping the results numeric. It's like you can never say the tractions were good or the business is doing good. What exactly is good to you is very subjective. What is good to you might not be the good to the investor or your customers. So have every critical thinking around numbers. The next one is targeting blogs. Of course, there are quite a lot of people who are writing personal blogs and probably very small companies writing blogs about them. Why don't you go target them? Because not many people are targeting them, and sponsoring them or supporting them in a very early stage is also giving you an access to the most potential influencers in the future. Now you do not have a lot of money, the blogger doesn't have a lot of takers. Now make these channels efficient in a very early stage when you are in a very early stage. So these could be a very long-term traction channel for you. When the channel grows, you also grows along with them. Number 7 is publicity. In fact, this chapter was very interesting to me as well, where the author is asking